Hi guys, welcome back to video number 3 of my Elwood painting. Today I'll be going through the second layer of hills, and actually I'm going to put the base of the third layer of hills in also. And one thing I'm doing right now, if you see I'm cutting along the horizon line, I'm actually going to put the water in. This is one, I actually normally would have had the water in that area before, but this is no problem here because what we're going to do is just add it here right now, and we'll get through it at again at Mach 1. These videos encompass about 2 to maybe 2.5 hours of work at times, so I know it's kind of a strange thing to look at, but at the same time this covers a lot of ground for you, and you see it happening really quickly and smoothly. So anyway, I'm putting the horizon line in there. There was a horizon line in there, but I found it was just a little bit too faint. Now I think I've done it a little bit too abrupt, so you'll see me go back and forth on that for a bit until I get it right. Yeah, there we go. It's way, way, way off in the distance, so, and there's a little bit of atmosphere there, so you really won't see it. Now if you notice, I'm putting in a reflection of the hill in the background. And there's a blank spot just above my brush right now. That's going to be a layer of hills, or the actual coast going down. There's going to be a little rock right where my brush is there. And we're going to move along real fast. You're going to see me jump from one side, or from the top to the bottom of the water. There's a reflection of the new hill that's going to go in. And once in a while you'll see that knife pop up to make the edges nice and straight. Now this blue is not going to probably stay exactly that color as I go along. I'm going to be adding a little bit of a grayish tone to it. But what that is the darker the sky, you're seeing the sky reflecting not the one in the background, but the one almost straight above you, or pretty well up high in the sky, and it's actually that dark blue portrays a dark sky that you're not seeing, but your mind's eye does see it. And these just swats of gray in there, they will, as you'll watch as it goes along, you'll see the clouds are actually reflecting into the water slightly. And I like everything to be in real subtle tones. Like, it's there, it doesn't have to be really bold. I've noticed people that do reflections a lot of times, they actually do the reflections a little bit too strong, and because of that it really does turn stiff and phony looking very quickly. I like this gentleness in this one. My water does seem to be, to some people, a little bit repetitious, but I have a boat, and I love that sea that's just the most beautiful, calm, just a little rolly sea, very peaceful. So, why wouldn't I use that in my painting? I feel that I want to paint exactly what I like to see. And I think this scenery is actually turning out to be that. It's a made-up scene, but it's got all the characters of that perfect night. That perfect night that coming on, and a beautiful late afternoon sun and everything. So here we go, real fast, zipping through it, and you can actually see the detail of water being formed by the brush strokes. I do that a lot, and I'm using that hard, rough brush that you heard me scratching away with in the very first video. Okay, so now you get the shadow, or the shaded side of the big beautiful rolly waves that are coming near the shore now. We're up pretty high in the road here. You'll see we're probably 40 or 50 feet off the water, so that's why the waves aren't larger. If we were down lower, the waves would be larger. Using a finer brush, but a stiff one at the same time. I'm doing strokes of darker color. And once in a while you'll watch my brush, there we go, I'm popping up, and I notice details. And when I'm going this quick, you don't really realize it, but when you see me sit back for a second, I'm probably sitting back for maybe a half a minute to a minute, and I'm judging what's happening in the painting. And those reflections are starting to happen in the hill in the background. Now I'm actually doing the little bit of waves that are hitting the shore. There's not a lot of waves, so I just did a little bit of that white line in there. And a few little highlights. I think I'll probably do a little bit more highlights after the video. I noticed at the end of the video that I'll probably in the fourth video start to add a little touch more color of the sky to it. So here we go with that next layer of hills. And what happens with that is, if you remember, I said the atmosphere was in the faded in the background. This hill's going to be a little bit more dark, a little darker, and also the detail will come up just a little bit. I'm trying to, this is what you call values of paint, and values to me of the detail. The detail, if you actually did the entire painting where it was super detail, very crisp, sometimes it goes the wrong way. You think you're doing something that's really being realistic, and because when you're looking at the main subject of this painting, which will be the motorcycle on Elwood Blues, and there's going to be a couple of other motorcycles going down the road, those should be detailed. And if you do look at that, the natural thing for your eyes to do is actually double the background, but also take the background out of focus. And you photographers out there would know that as depth of field. It does kind of portray what your mind's eye is doing. I say mind's eye because your eyes really do a lot of things that your mind is telling you things that aren't really happening at times. Here we go. But now we're starting to do a little bit more detail on that hill. I got some nice lush green on that hill, and I think that's kind of the California thing to me. Right down by the ocean, it does get pretty lush. And there I go. I'm popping up. When I was sitting back, I looked at it. I think, okay, well, those details can come up just a little bit. Now we've really moved along real fast, and we're putting in the next layer. So that layer I just did is actually finished, and it didn't finish in 2 minutes the way it looks like. It probably, took a good 45 minutes or so to paint that. So this is going to be one of these things that I hate to show. When you come into my studio, sometimes I won't let people in my studio, and the only reason is I can't stand when I see a great big black blob of paint, and some people will sit there and say, you had such a nice scene, and it's like you kind of ruined it. Well, wait until this happens. This is not going to happen today. I'm just putting the base in, and just to show you that part of the process here. And that base will turn into a fairly detailed piece of hill with vegetation, rock, and everything else. But I wanted a real nice dark background. Now I do the brush work here because I know I'm going to be brushing over dry. If I was doing wet over that black paint, I wouldn't do it dry like that. So anyway, number 4 is coming soon. We'll have it ready for you, and I'll show you how I'm doing the rest of that. Okay? We'll see you later, guys. Take care.